I'm Katie.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Amelia.
And we are doing the water soldier, also known as Stratios alloids. The water soldier is a species native to Europe and Northwest Asia. It is a perennial aquatic plant that reproduces asexually. It can grow as large as 1 meter by 1 meter. It has long spiny leaves that are sword-shaped that extend in a star pattern from the center. The appearance is similar to an aloe plant and is also referred to as water aloe or a pineapple plant due to its leaves standing straight up when in bloom.
Habitat. The water soldier grows in waters of high total alkalinity, low pH, and consistent carbon dioxide saturation. It needs moderately high nutrient concentrations, which is absent in oligotrophic waters. They thrive in mesotrophic to eutrophic conditions, grow in ponds, ditches, and reed zones of rivers and large lakes in temperate zones.
Stratios alloids are dioecious perennial plants with a life cycle that changes from being submerged in the winter months to being emerged from spring to fall, carrying green leaves with no roots.
The water soldier is submerged most times of the year, rising to the surface only when it is flowering. In the spring, the emerged plants grow floating rosettes with partly emerged leaves for efficient carbon dioxide uptake. These leaves accumulate calcium carbonate, and by the autumn, this makes them heavy enough to sink back to the bottom. The new leaves in the spring do not have this calcium carbonate and so rise to the surface. New plants are only produced during winter months from mature plants. Stratios alloids have different life cycle stages that are exposed to varying carbon dioxide concentrations. Plant populations that were located in nutrient-poor, clear waters were reported to only consist of submerged species.
The earliest reported Stratios alloids in North America was due to its sale as an ornamental plant in the United States in the early 20th century. It has then since been sold as a decorative pond plant in Canada and the US. In 2008, it was reported to have been released from captivation when it was found in the Trent River. It has been suggested that the aquatic plant has been established for several years before it was discovered. In the Trent River, patches of Stratios alloids grow in groups of submerging and emergent aquatic plants at depths between 0.3 to 2.5 meters. The substrates of these habitats are sandy to organic.
The geographic distribution of Stratios alloids in Ontario is currently known in 5 locations. It is in the Trent Severn River at the south end of Crow Bay. Scattered plants are found at the east end of Percy Reach, located in the county of Northumberland, a watering pond in the municipality of Trent Hills, and a pond in Blackstock, which is in the town of Scugog, and an artificial pond near Bayfield in Huron County, and has also recently been discovered in the Black River near Sutton. So as you can see by this map, you can show by the red where the dense colonies are. The orange represents scattered plants, and the yellow is where single plants have been found. As you can see, it is a big problem in this area as there are mainly dense mats. In Crow Bay, there's some distribution along the littoral zones. And here you can see where it has started to spread up the creek alongside the river here and has a potential to affect future waterways.
The detrimental impacts of water soldier include the formation of dense mats which block sunlight to lower aquatic plants and organisms, influencing the hydrosphere. It can crowd other native aquatic vegetation, decreasing plant biodiversity.
They clog waterways, drains, and irrigation systems, and they disrupt navigation and recreational activities on inland waters, and the sharp sword-like edges can cause injury to swimmers and anglers. Other detrimental effects of the Stratios alloids possess is in the competition for nutrients with other species as well as inhibiting phytoplankton growth. This effect on phytoplankton has the ability to affect the ecological and chemical balance of the water and decrease the diversity by draining zooplankton of food sources.
So this picture was taken in 2013 in the Trent River. As you can see, there are some vegetation of the water soldier starting to grow along the littoral zone. By 2014, it had increasingly grew to a dense mat, and by 2015, it had taken over the entire shoreline.
There are some benefits to the plant. A number of aquatic insects, such as dragonfly, have been linked to the Stratios alloids as it provides shelter and protection from predators above and below the water surface. Coleoptera, Diptera, and Lepidoptera have been discovered feeding on Stradiotes alloys. The leaves of the plant offer shelter for macroinvertebrates such as crustaceans, cyclopoda.
There have been control efforts put into place to remove the plant from waterways in the Trent River, such as manually pulling out the species and chemical controls with a herbicide called diquat used between 2009 and 2014. These actions were taken by the Ministry of Natural Resources and their partners. Unfortunately, the plant has persisted and continued to spread downstream.
So when diquat was applied in the Trent Severn to control the growing Stradiotes alloys populations, the application was most successful in reducing dense areas in shallow embankments with very little flow. But there was little efficiency in the removal of plants in deep waters with higher flow rates and turbidity. In 2015, a stronger application of diquat was taken in the Trent River, where applicators were mounted to airboats to minimize the turbidity of the water caused by the application processes. So as you can see here, referring it back to a couple pictures ago, you can see that the diquat was very successful in eliminating the plant in this area, which now it only has a few plant species, which they're hoping that will die off again with the next application.
Unfortunately, it still remains uncertain if the application of diquat will be a success in the stopping the spread of the plant downstream in the Trent River.
Thank you.
Thank you.